All right, do people even go downtown Portland anymore? Let's go find out. All right, before we just jump right into this, I'm gonna give you a little overview about what you can expect in this video. So I went and walked around downtown Portland yesterday just to give you a glimpse of what a typical day downtown Portland looks like. Now, this was a Friday, it was February, so it's winter, but it was a really beautiful day outside. So honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. But first, I'm gonna show you what it was like walking around downtown so you can check that out. And then toward the end of this video, I'm going to give a map overview of downtown Portland so you have a little more context of where I was walking and where I didn't show as well. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, or you've been here and you haven't already and you want to get more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button, tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. And as licensed real estate brokers in the state of Oregon, we absolutely love helping people relocate here. So if you are thinking about moving to the Portland metro area, give us a call, reach out, send us a text, shoot us an email, or you can click the link down below in the description of the video and schedule a Zoom call with us. But without further ado, let's take a look at downtown Portland. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Paul Clem, licensed broker with eXp Realty, coming to you from downtown Portland, Oregon today. And in this video, we're going to take a look at downtown. Do people still go downtown? Is this a place where people hang out? Is it safe? What does it look like? So, we make these videos to help show people what it's actually gonna be like living in Portland and the surrounding areas, what it's gonna be like hanging out here, going downtown or anywhere around Portland. And, obviously downtown Portland has been at the center of some controversy. It definitely has a bad reputation, and there's certainly some good reasons why. But again, in this video, we're gonna go around, walk around, actually show you what downtown Portland looks like. One thing to know about downtown Portland, it's never been kind of the hotbed for activity, social events and things like that in the city necessarily. There's a lot of neighborhoods on the east side of Portland that are really popular hangout spots. You have these entertainment districts, and that's where a lot of the great restaurants and bars and breweries and coffee shops are, kind of true to like the Portland culture and lifestyle. Downtown is more of a business district. Now there's a lot of great restaurants. You do have some cool bars and things like that. So it's not like there's not anything to do downtown Portland. But overall, this isn't necessarily a place where a lot of people are going to be out and about, especially in the last few years. So like I mentioned, downtown Portland has not necessarily been a hotbed for social activity historically. There's a lot of really nice restaurants down here, and you definitely find a larger volume of upscale, kind of higher end restaurants downtown Portland than you get anywhere else in the city. Some of those restaurants have closed, some of those are still open and still doing very well. So I think people will get downtown for some fine dining. You have the Pioneer Place Mall, which is right here, so that's a couple of city blocks. You have Pioneer Square, which is a cool attraction. There's gonna be a lot of shopping. There's gonna be, again, some great restaurants. There's not gonna be a ton of like hip bars and stuff like that. So it's not really an area that a lot of people necessarily get out to and go just hang out and walk around necessarily. All right, I'm here at Director Park, which is right on Park and Yamhill. There's some good restaurants around here in this area. There's these little pockets of downtown where you have a higher volume of restaurants and bars and things to do. There's a movie theater right over here, so one of a couple movie theaters downtown Portland. You know, again, when we're looking at downtown, this isn't like a hotbed for social activity, so you'll see people out and about, mostly probably coming and going from work and things like that, because this is really more of a business district. And there are events throughout the year. I mean, where I'm standing is like half a city block right now. There's nobody around, but there's really nothing going on. It's also February 2nd. We got a little bit of sunshine, but people are still cooped up a little bit, I think, in their homes. But if you're looking to get out and see the city and be in downtown Portland, I mean, it's a beautiful setting and there's a lot to do and a lot to see overall. I think that in particular with a lot of the things that happened from 2020 to today, scared a lot of people away. I mean, there's definitely been an uptick in things that would maybe make people feel a little unsafe or a little less safe visiting downtown Portland. And so certainly there's a lot of issues and definitely warranted concerns there about being downtown, but I don't really talk to that many people who feel like they can't just go downtown Portland and walk around. I mean, there might be certain little pockets, little areas where, you know, maybe you want to stay away from, maybe you don't want to necessarily be out walking around there, and maybe that's like well into the night, you know, past midnight. But on a normal day just like today, I mean, people are out and about walking around. I mean, it definitely doesn't feel unsafe by any means. All right, now we've jumped over to the Pearl District, where you're gonna find a much different dynamic than right in downtown on the southwest side. So the Pearl District is very residential. There's a lot of high-rise condos. It's a lot newer. I mean, this is an area that at one point was a lot of kind of industrial buildings, warehouses, loading docks, things like that, manufacturing, completely converted over the last 25 years or so. Again, a ton of condos, but some really, really good restaurants, breweries and bars, a lot of great shopping, a lot of higher end offerings overall, and a pretty sharp contrast, you know, between here and the other side of Burnside. I think the Pearl District is going to be basically considered downtown Portland, but it is its own separate kind of neighborhood, or at least section of the city, where you get a distinct difference from everywhere else.
It's Friday night and we are nearing happy hour time, and I'm certainly not seeing a ton of people out and about right now. So in this video, we're focusing on the two primary parts of downtown specifically, being downtown proper, you know, kind of the business district, and over here in the Pearl District, where you have more residential, more retail, and not nearly the number of like office buildings and things like that. Half of me came down here to prove a point, but there's not a lot of people out and about right now for sure. So maybe it's a one-off, maybe it's still winter, or maybe people are still a little apprehensive about getting into the city. It's Friday night, like I said, getting near happy hour time, but let's keep walking around. Let's take a closer look at downtown Portland on a map, because there's more or less a defined urban center for Portland. You have the Portland metro area, which you can see expands really in every direction, mostly west and east, and actually quite a way south. You don't have as much space up north because you bump into the river, and then you get up into Vancouver, which is still definitely part of the Portland metro area. But downtown Portland is going to be primarily defined as the business district in the southwest section of the city. So you have Burnside right here. Everything south of Burnside is a south directional address, and then obviously west of the river, west. So this is the southwest area of downtown here. So this is where you see most of the larger buildings, office buildings, a lot of, you know, businesses, things like that. There are some apartments. There are some condos. There's a good deal of restaurants and bars and things like that, but not a ton necessarily. But either way, this is downtown Portland. A lot of shopping. You have Pioneer Square, which we looked at and walked around. You have the mall, Pioneer Place. And then really west of 405, you get into a different section of the city. And north of Burnside into northwest, you have the Pearl District. So this is really what we were looking at and where we were walking around, is this corridor here through downtown, again, the southwest side of downtown, and the Pearl District, the northwest side of downtown. So the biggest difference here is that the northwest side is really residential. So there's a lot of great shopping, especially kind of right in here in this area right here. But a lot of condos, high-rise condos, things like that. A lot of really good bars and restaurants. And if you see this park here, actually on Park Avenue, 8th, and Park is 9th. When you cross this stretch, I think the signs start after Broadway, west of Broadway, but really when you get past this park, these park blocks, is when you get into the Pearl District. Everything inside of here, between the river and the park blocks, is Chinatown, Old Town Chinatown. So a distinct difference here than what you get in the Pearl District here. You know, definitely a little bit of a seedier area in Chinatown. Not an area where you would be hanging out, walking around too much, unless you were going out to some of the bars and clubs, which there is a little nightlife district in there, but I'm long past that. So I know people still go down there. I mean, if you're like, I don't know, older than 28, you're probably not spending too much time down here. Then you have the train station here as well, the Union Station. So this is definitely, you know, this Old Town, Chinatown, definitely considered to be part of what people would think of as downtown, really this west side, inside of 405 primarily. This is, you know, this is kind of the heart of the city. This is where the big buildings are. You know, the skyscrapers, if any of the buildings we have could be classified as that. But if we look at Portland as a whole, you can see basically these like commercial buildings. You know, where the trees are, you know, this is primarily residential. And where these kind of white tops of these, you know, commercial industrial buildings, this is going to be more or less the city center. So west of the river, downtown, this is where I was walking around. In the south, on the southwest side, west of 405, this is Goose Hollow. You know, this area is definitely considered to be part of the city. It's not as much quote unquote downtown as, you know, the actual kind of city center downtown area. But you have Providence Park up here. You have some apartments up here. Along Burnside in particular, you have some restaurants and bars. And then this from Burnside carries north into this northwest district. So Nob Hill Alphabet District, you can call it any one of those. It's called the Alphabet District because you have streets in alphabetical order. So you have Burnside, Cooch, Davis, Everett, you know, all the way down. But really this area ends around Thurman. So this area is really cool. It's more residential than it is a commercial district. So you can see you're really right in the city, but distinctly different from downtown. So worth pointing out. And we've done videos on that if you want to check that out. There's a video on Northwest District. It's really cool. And then on the east side, you know, really kind of inside of 12th, 11th and 12th, right here, west toward the river, it's going to be more commercial, industrial, a little bit grittier than what you can get like anywhere on the west side. I mean, this is kind of an area that has the potential to turn into the next Pearl District. This is like the east side, you know, central and industrial area, and then Lloyd District has a little bit of a skyline too. So east side of the river, up here in northeast Portland into North Portland a little bit. Lloyd Center Mall. Tearing down Lloyd Center Mall is being discussed, so kind of a classic Portland institution, but probably won't be around for much longer. And there's businesses and office buildings and things in here. You have the Convention Center, and then you have the Moda Center and the Memorial Coliseum. So the Moda Center is where the Blazers play. Coliseum is where the Blazers used to play. You have events, concerts, all kinds of stuff going on here, as well as the Convention Center. So there's these, you know, different little pockets of what you would consider the city, you know, outside of these more neighborhood type areas along Hawthorne and Belmont, Division, for example, which are really popular places to go out. I think a lot of people, especially who live on the east side, they're going out on Hawthorne and Belmont and Division and some other areas around here, as opposed to maybe getting into like the Pearl District or Northwest, for example. But what we walked around and looked at was, again, downtown, the southwest area, primarily a business district, and the Pearl District here as well, which is more residential, but very urban and, you know, definitely very much part of kind of the skyline, I guess. So this is what we were looking at walking around. There's definitely more to be said about other areas of the city center, and certainly we can talk about that. I guess the only other parts maybe that we didn't see too, part of downtown really is the Portland State campus. You can see there's a little bit of a distinction where, you know, Portland State's down here and the rest of downtown is here. So a little bit of a different feel in here, a little more residential in here, and then you have the campus, obviously. And South Waterfront. is kind of the newest addition to the Portland skyline. A lot of condos and things like that down here. Not a ton of restaurants. It's an area that is probably still up and coming in the way of like entertainment, but it's beautiful. I mean, you're right on the water, and if you were looking to be in a high-rise condo and more in an urban setting in a condo, South Waterfront would be a really cool option. So that is the city center of Portland. Again, there's obviously a lot to discuss. Really, the goal of the video is just to show people what it's like walking around downtown on a random day. So if you are thinking about moving to Portland, if you have questions, if you want to talk more about what the city's like or what other parts of the metro area are like as well, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, click the link down below in the description of the video, schedule a Zoom call with us, and we'd love to chat more about that. And if this video is helpful, make sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. If you want to get more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. As always, we really appreciate you watching, and until next time, we'll talk to you later.